Greetings once again, and welcome back to another video of Amanda Gets Excited About Books. By now, I'm sure you all know how this works, but just in case you're brand new, let me give you a quick rundown. We have a box of brand new books that just came into the library. I am super excited about all of these books because I always get super excited when we get new books in, and it always feels like Christmas morning to me. And so I use these videos to share that excitement with all of you and to show off all of the wonderful new titles that we've been getting in here at the library. All of these titles are in our catalog right now, so if you see something that you like, you see something that you know you want to read, you can sign into the catalog right now and place a hold on those items, so once they're all ready to go, we will let you know. We also have some wonderful book lists in our catalog. When you're on the main page of the catalog, look on the right-hand side of the screen where it says book lists. If you click there, there's a series of all kinds of awesome lists with read-alikes and things, but there are several that are unboxing video 1 through, I think we're at 8, this is video 9. So if you click on any of those lists, you will see in our catalog a list of all of the titles that were in each of these videos, and you can request those titles right from that list. It's great. It's a super handy way to be able to go back and see any of what you wanted from these boxes and to request those right from there. So now that we've got all that out of the way, let's see what's in this box and see what you want to read today. Our first title is Invisible Girl by Jewell. And this is the best-selling author of Then She Was Gone and The Family Upstairs, returning with another taut thriller following a group of people whose lives shockingly intersect when a young woman disappears. This sounds like it will be a hard-to-put-down read. I know I'm always a big fan of thrillers and suspense stories, so this would be a great one to take a look at. Don't miss Invisible Girl. I am definitely excited about this next title. This is the third book in the Book Wanderers series by Anna James. This one is called The Map of Stories. If you haven't taken a look at this series yet, I highly recommend it. This is a great middle grade series about a young woman who lives with her grandparents. Her name is Tilly, and she discovers that her family has the ability to go into books. And so she and her friend Oscar can go into Alice in Wonderland or Anne of Green Gables or any book that they come across and can wander through the stories and can interact with the characters. And throughout this series, there's been a number of mysteries and a number of adventures and a number of challenges and possibly even some scary moments that they've encountered as they've wandered through books and learned a little bit more about how and why they are able to book wander. So you do not want to miss this third book in this series, and if you haven't started, I recommend you pick up the first book and read through this series because it is excellent. Our next title is The Searcher by Tana, and this is another suspense thriller title. It's been getting a lot of positive press. I keep seeing this one come up on lists of great mysteries and great suspense titles to read for Halloween season, to read for fall. This is about Cal Hooper, who thought a fixer-upper in a remote Irish village would be the perfect escape. After 25 years in the Chicago police force, in a bruising divorce, he just wants to build a new life in a pretty spot with a good pub where nothing much happens. But then a local kid comes looking for his help. Trey's brother has gone missing, and no one, least of all the police, seems to care. Cal wants nothing to do with any kind of investigation, but somehow he can't make himself walk away. Against his will, he discovers that even in the most idyllic small town, secrets lie hidden, people aren't always what they seem, and trouble can come calling at his door. You do not want to miss The Searcher if you are even remotely interested in looking for a good suspense title right now. You can't go wrong with this one. Up next is another title I am so excited to share with you. This is Three Keys. This is the sequel to Front Desk. If you have not picked up Front Desk yet, you should. It's fantastic. I loved it and tore through it in about a day. This is the sequel to that. This is by Kelly Yang. And we go back to the world of Mia Tang. She and her parents are still living at the Cala Vista Motel and running the motel. Mia loves getting to work at the front desk. She's finally getting somewhere with her writing. But then she's starting 6th grade, and it turns out 6th grade is no picnic. Mia's new teacher doesn't think her writing is all that great. The motel is struggling, and Mia has to answer to many, many worried investors. And a new immigration law is looming, and if it passes, it will threaten everything and everyone in Mia's life. How will Mia and her family get through this latest set of challenges? You will have to read 3 Keys to find out. Do not miss it. We jump to a title that I'm sure some people will be excited about if you've been reading any Alice Hoffman. This is Magic Lessons by her, and this is a prequel to Practical Magic. So this looks at the centuries-old curse of the Owens family in Practical Magic and the Rules of Magic, and it traces this old curse to its source, where the Owens bloodline begins in the 1600s. So if you have read any of her other titles and you want to know the history of this family and this curse, do not miss Magic Lessons. Up next is one I know we have a lot of people excited about and on hold for, so if you are not on the list for this book yet, you will want to put your name on it. This is A Time for Mercy, and this is the newest John Grisham book. And Jake Brigance, the hero of A Time to Kill, is back. Clanton, Mississippi in 1990, Jake finds himself embroiled in a deeply divisive trial when the court appoints him attorney for Drew Gamble, a timid 16-year-old boy accused of murdering a local deputy. Minnie and Clanton want a swift trial and the death penalty, but Jake digs in and discovers that there is more to the story than meets the eye. What is the more to the story? Is Jake going to succeed defending this young man? You will have to check out this book and find out. Yet another title that I am so excited about. This is Pepper's Rules for Secret Sleuthing by Brianna McDonald. And this is a modern take on the amateur detective, kid detective. This is a middle grade novel. I'm not sure if it's the start of a series or not, but I haven't even read it yet, and I already hope it's the start of a series about Pepper Blouse, who is an amateur detective. Her number one rule is your loyalty is always to the case. And sometimes this has meant that Pepper has to push people away, but when the results of her latest case cost her any hope of the girl she likes returning her feelings, she decides maybe she should lie low for a while. That is, until her great-aunt Florence passes away under mysterious circumstances. And even though her dad insists that there's nothing to investigate, Piper just can't ignore rule number 14, trust your gut. But there's nothing in the rule book that could have prepared her for this. Maybe it's time to stop playing by the rules. I cannot wait to read this. I know I'm on hold for it. Again, you give me, a great young adult or middle grade mystery, I am always going to pick it up. It's some of my favorite types of books to read, so I recommend also checking out Pepper's Rules for Secret Sleuthing. Speaking of titles that I know that I'm on hold for, Donut the Destroyer is definitely one of them. This is by Sarah Grayley and Steph Purens, and this is a middle grade graphic novel. There was a sneak peek of this during Free Comic Book Summer, so if you happen to have picked up a copy of that outside of our front doors, you might already have an idea of what this is about. But this is about Donut, middle name The, last name Destroyer, who has a heart of gold and incredible strength, and she wants to be a hero, and she's so excited because she just got accepted to Lionheart School for Heroes. The problem is, her parents are some of the most notorious supervillains you will ever encounter. So she is determined to prove that despite her name, despite her background, she is capable of being a hero. This is Donut the Destroyer. I am looking forward to reading this. I highly recommend this one. And while we're on middle grade graphic novels, our next title is Max Meow, Cat Crusader by John Gallagher. This is one you will definitely want to jump on. This looks like it's going to be somewhat in the vein of Dogman. So if you've got kiddos in your life that like that series, this will be a good one to pick up. This is the start of a brand new series. He's a hero with catitude. Do not miss Max Meow. Said it before and I'll say it again, I do not know how we are so close to the holiday season that the Christmas books are starting to come out, but they are. Our next one is A California Christmas by Brenda Novak. And this is a Silver Springs title. Spend the holidays in Silver Springs, where the greatest gift of all is the love you never expected. We've got up-and-coming TV anchor Emily Bliss, and she loses her job and her self-esteem, and she's seeking solace and anonymity in Silver Springs, but she isn't looking to get involved with another man anytime soon. But when she's thrown back into contact with Dallas Turner, she sees something that his many detractors have missed. Being home for the holidays and his adoptive mother's wedding isn't where mountain climber Dallas feels most comfortable. Thanks to his troubled childhood, he'd rather be on a rock face alone than trying to connect with people. Emery, however, makes him want to overcome his past somehow. Will these two find love this Christmas season? Check out A California Christmas to find out. We jump to some picture books that have come in this box. This first one is I Am Darn Tough, and this is by Alicia Morelli. And this book just looks absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with the illustrations. These are just beautiful. And this is a wonderful book to share with the little ones in your life about the importance of continuing to go on even when the going gets tough. Everyone wants to have grit and perseverance. Everyone wants to become stronger and more resilient. And running provides that pathway to our hero of this book. But the process of overcoming obstacles can be applied to any number of life situations, and this is a great book to share and to teach that ability to overcome to the kiddos in your life. This next picture book is just one that, how do you not laugh when you see this? It doesn't matter whether you're 5 or 105, butts are always going to be funny. And this one is called Butts Are Everywhere. And this is by Jonathan Stutman and Heather Fox. And this is a picture book featuring butts, animal butts, hairy butts, prickly butts. Each one is special and hilarious, and this book will highlight all of them. If you're looking for a good laugh and a good read aloud, you cannot miss Butts Are Everywhere. Our next picture book in this box is Looking for Smile. This is by Ellen Taub, and this is a book I think a lot of us can relate to right now. We've got our main character Bear, and Bear and Smile are the best of friends, and they're always together. But then one day, Smile doesn't come, and Bear cannot find Smile. And the process of searching for Smile will take Bear all over and through any number of activities and emotions. And I think all of us can relate to looking for our smile right now. So you will definitely want to check this out and share it with anyone who is trying to find that joy and trying to find a smile. Up next is Spoiler Alert by Oliviadade, and this book sounds excellent. This is about Marcus Casterup, who most people know as the star of the biggest show on television, but secretly he's also a fan fiction writer. He releases his frustrations with the show by writing and posting anonymous stories about the internet's favorite couple. But if anyone were to discover his online persona, he'd be finished in Hollywood. April has secrets of her own. She's a hardcore fan of the show. She's long hidden her fanfic and cosplay hobbies from her real life, but not anymore. When she dares to post her latest costume creation on Twitter, her plus-size take goes viral. When Marcus asks her out to spite her internet critics, truth officially becomes stranger than fanfiction. On their date, Marcus quickly realizes he wants more from April than a one-time publicity stunt. But when he discovers that she is his closest fandom friend, secretly online, he has one more huge secret to keep from her. With love and Marcus's career on the line, can Marcus and April stop hiding once and for all, or will a match made in fandom end up prematurely canceled? This sounds like a wonderful, positive romance, a great book to kind of get lost in right now for a little bit of escapism. Do not miss, spoiler alert. Our next title is a new Elin Hilderbrand. This is Troubles in Paradise. After uprooting her life in the States, Irene Steele has just settled in at the villa on St. John where her husband Russ had been living a double life. But as a visit from the FBI shakes her to her foundations, and Irene once again learns just how little she knew about the man she loved. With help from their friends, Irene and her son set up their lives, while evidence mounts that the helicopter crash that killed Russ may not have been an accident. Meanwhile, the entire island watches this drama unfold, including the driver of a Jeep with tinted windows, who seems to be shadowing the Steele family. What else is this family going to encounter? What secrets are they going to discover? What is up with the man in the Jeep? You will have to read Troubles in Paradise to find out. This is another title that I know I'm on hold for. I am so excited to read. This is Confessions on the 745 by Lisa Unger. And this is another great suspense thriller book for this time of year or any time of year. This is about Selena Murphy, who is commuting home from her job in the city when the train stalls on the tracks. She strikes up a conversation with a beautiful stranger in the next seat, who introduces herself as Martha. The woman confesses that she's been stuck in an affair with her boss, and Selena, in turn, confesses that she suspects her husband is sleeping with the nanny. When the train arrives at Selena's station, the two women part ways, presumably never to meet again. But days later, Selena's nanny disappears. Soon, Selena finds her once perfect life upended. As she is pulled into the mystery of the missing nanny, and as the fractures in her marriage grow deeper, Selena begins to wonder, who was Martha really? But she is hardly prepared for what she'll discover. This sounds awesome. It sort of sounds like a little bit of a Strangers on the Train take, which is a story that I absolutely love, is a movie I absolutely love. So I am excited to read this. I suspect this will be a page turner that I have to read all in one sitting. If you are not yet on hold for this, do pick up Confessions on the 745. Our next title is a middle grade book called 1,000 Questions by Sadia Faruqi. And this is about Mimi, who is not thrilled to be spending her summer in Pakistan with grandparents she's never met. Fortunately, she has a beautiful new journal where she can write all about her experiences, but secretly she plans to use it to write her long-absent father. On the other side of town, Sakina still hasn't told her parents that all she needs to be accepted to school is to improve her English test score, and figure out how her family could possibly afford to lose the money she earns working with her Abba in a rich family's kitchen. When the two girls first meet, they think they are way too different to ever be friends. But as the summer goes on, Sakina and Mimi realize that they need each other to help get what they want most, and soon learn that they have plenty in common, including their kind hearts, big dreams, and all the right questions. I am looking forward to sitting down and reading this. It sounds like an incredibly sweet story. I love this cover. I just love everything about the premise of this book. Do not miss 1,000 Questions. Up next is Leave the World Behind. This is by Rumaan Alam. And this sounds like it could make an amazing book club pick. A little bit of a suspenseful, creepy sort of book for this time of year, about a couple who heads to a remote corner of Long Island expecting a vacation, a quiet reprieve from life in New York City, quality time with their teenage son and daughter, and a taste of the good life in the luxurious home they've rented for the week. But with a late-night knock at the door, the spell is broken. An older couple who claim to own the home have arrived there in a panic. These strangers say that a sudden blackout has swept New York, and with nowhere else to turn, they've come to the country in search of shelter. But with the TV and internet down, and no cell phone service, the facts are unknowable. Should our heroes trust this intruding couple, and vice versa? What has happened back in New York? Is the vacation home, isolated from civilization, truly a safe place for their families? And And are they safe from one another? This also sounds like a page turner that will keep you up at night and might have to be read in one sitting. Make sure you put your name on the list for Leave the World Behind. Up next is another one to be super excited about. This is Cardiff by the Sea by Joyce Carol Oates, who was always an author to watch and to take a look at. And these are 4 novellas of suspense. So again, great time of year, spooky Halloween time. Everybody always wants to read some suspense stories. This is 4 kind of shorter stories, so you can, go through just a little bit at a time, and you don't have to finish the entire book right away if you don't want to, but I'm sure every story in this will be amazing. There's 4 deeply disturbing novellas that will leave the reader both quaking and pining for more. And our final book in this box is Elsewhere by Dean Koontz. The fate of the world is in the hands of a father and daughter in this epic novel of wonder and terror by Dean Koontz. Since his wife Michelle left 7 years ago, Jeffy Coltrane has worked to maintain a normal life for himself and his daughter Amity, and it's a quiet life until a local eccentric known as Spooky Ed shows up on their doorstep. Ed entrusts Jeffy with a strange and dangerous object, something he calls the key to everything, and tells Jeffy that he must never use the device. But after a visit from a group of ominous men, Jeffy and Amity find themselves accidentally activating the key and discovering an extraordinary truth. The device allows them to jump between parallel planes, at once familiar and bizarre, wondrous and terrifying. And Jeffy and Amity can't help but wonder, could Michelle be just a click away? Jeffy and Amity aren't the only ones interested in the device. A man with a dark purpose is in pursuit, determined to use its grand potential for profound evil. Unless Amity and Jeffy can outwit him, the place they call home may never be safe again. Do not miss Elsewhere. And that's it. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know it's a lot of books to go through, but I'm hoping you are just as excited about some of these titles as I am, that you're already clamoring to get into the catalog and to place some holds on these. Please do check out those book lists. It's a great way to see exactly what was in this box and to place holds on all of the ones that you might want. And I look forward to seeing you the next time we get a box of books in so we can show off a bunch of amazing new titles to be excited about. Thanks again. See you next time.